Kyle from Infidelity here. Today we're going to talk about a brand new headphone from Onkyo, the ES-FC300, and there's also the ES-HF300. The two models are identical, and the only difference being the cable that comes with it. The FC comes with a flat tangle-free cable, it's 4 feet long, and the HF comes with a 6/9 purity copper cable. It's also 4 feet long. Neither cable has a remote control on it, and I think that's one of the drawbacks of these headphones. I have heard rumors though that Onkyo will be producing a cable with a remote on it. The more expensive cable on the HF raises the price of the headphones by $30. The FC is $149 and the HF is $179. The cables connect to the earpieces with these MCXX, I believe they are called, connectors. These are miniature RF connectors, and we're beginning to see them on a number of headphones these days. I believe that it's the same connector that Shure uses on their in-ear models. The HF cable has a fairly large 90-degree angle connector on it that might interfere with your smartphones and devices inside protective cases, so it's a little bit fat here, and I just caution you about that. Otherwise, I think $30 is a reasonable price to pay for a little bit better cable. I did measure the resistance of both cables. They were both quite low, and both cables had the same amount of resistance. It was on the order of about 0.2 ohms. So they're both good cables, and I didn't hear any difference between the two cables. I believe that sometimes cables make a small difference in the way things sound, and in this particular case I didn't hear much, if anything. Nonetheless, it seems to me that if you like nice cables, the $30 upgrade is reasonable. The headphones themselves they come in white, black, and purple. These are, Onkyo calls them on-ear headphones, and I would say that that's a correct designation, although these are fairly large for on-ear headphones, and in the end it's actually beneficial to the sound. We'll get to that, however. So these are sealed on-ear headphones, fairly large size. The adjustments are done about halfway up the band here, and there's nice stainless steel sliders that click and are positive and do seem to adjust quite well. The padding in the top of the headband pad is enough, but there's not a lot of padding, but it is enough. And for me, the curvature of the top of the headphone was nicely aligned with the size and shape of my head, so the headband itself was quite comfortable. The ear pads are artificial leather, and the cushions inside the ear pads are fairly large and sort of a medium stiffness. Doesn't seem like they're memory foam, but they are quite comfortable. The ear pads swivel so they can lay flat for storage, but there's no other folding mechanism to make them more compact, so they're a little bit large for a portable headphone. Nonetheless, they're quite comfortable. The ear swivel adjustments are a little bit lacking in what I would call precision. Some of the more expensive headphones of this type seem to be a little bit more precise in their movement, but once I put them on the head and do a little tapping on the outside to get them to adjust, they seem to stay in place very, very well. The ear cups are aluminum on the outside here. This piece is also aluminum, and I believe this piece is aluminum. They are very nicely finished. On the purple ones, I did find that there's slight mismatches of color. Lots of different materials in use here, and not surprising there's a little bit difference in color. I would suspect that the black and white ones are closer. Nonetheless, they're quite a handsome headphone for $149. I think they're really pretty nicely built. The plastic pieces in here on the headband are screwed together, so it can be disassembled. The ear pads are removable. So I think they're, for those of you who are modifiers or need to repair your headphones, I would think they're pretty amenable to that. Sound quality wise, boy, these headphones deliver. I spent quite a bit of time listening to sealed on-ear headphones like the V-Moda M80, Noontech Zorro, B&W P5, the Momentum on-ear, the Sennheiser HD25, quite a number of headphones, and bottom line is these headphones performed quite well relative to them, even the more expensive ones, partly due, I think, to the fact that these are substantially larger, and the capsule size here is big enough that gave engineers more acoustic space to work with and allowed them to really create a more open and even sound than some of the more compact on-ear headphones. So I did spend some time then comparing them to full-size on-ear headphones, and again, they did very, very well, competing in their price category. The Creative Orvana Live and all the way up to the Sony MDR-1R and Sennheiser Momentum and the new NAD Viso HP50. These did very, very well against headphones in their category. I would say they're probably the best sounding headphone that I heard in that sealed over-ear category, up to about the $200 level. Once you got to the Sennheiser Momentum and the new NAD Viso HP50, you could definitely hear that they were more refined and more open sounding. But you had to get up to that price level before they weren't competitive. And I would say that they were competitive, for example, with the Sony MDR-1R. The 1R has a little bit more refined and clear treble, but these seem to be a little more even in the lows and mids in terms of their frequency response. So quite a neutral headphone. The bass is very, very well extended, tight and punchy, really no flabby lows here. Does a great job. Mid-range is nice and even. Vocals retained their characteristic sound, and the treble was well extended and well behaved, maybe slightly artificial sounding, slightly hazy sounding, but only really when I compared it to headphones that were sometimes double the price, and so they did very, very well in that regard. So I think this is a great headphone. They're going to go up on the Inner Fidelity Wall of Fame, and I'm very happy to report that Onkyo, a very serious and well-known manufacturer of high-end or of audio gear, especially AV receivers, has done an extraordinary job on their first entry into the headphone market. As a side note, I'll say that they also have an in-ear model that I measured yesterday, and boy did it measure well. I haven't spent any time listening to it, but we'll get it off to Joker soon, and he'll probably give it a review because it was pretty stellar as well. So good job, Onkyo. Really excited to see you enter the marketplace and look forward to the things that you're going to be doing in the future, and I hope you get a chance to listen to these headphones sometime soon. They're certainly a great headphone for $150, and we'll see you next time.